So basically, we're able to insert the location of the person that's visiting our website from wherever they're coming from. And especially if you're running Google Ads, this is essential because you're able to translate the actual Google Ads location into an actual name as well as a zip code if you need it for passing it to your ultimate destination. So in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to add the location of the visitor onto whatever part of your WordPress website you want. In this case, it's detecting that I'm currently in Buenos Aires, Argentina, but also you can put it as whatever city you want based on the URL up here and the address bar. So you can see it's California/Hollywood. And finally, you can also put the location to be anywhere you want in the world. So in this case, I put it to Delhi, India in the address bar. And with every single one of them, the map is also populated along with the various shortcodes wherever you put them on your site. So you can see that. And there you go. Very simple. So we're going to go ahead and start implementing this with our plugin. I assume that you already know how to use WordPress, so I'll cover this very, very quickly. We'll go to our plugin page. We'll upload the plugin, choose the file, install now, activate. Once the plugin is installed, you will need a license key. So we'll go ahead and paste that in. Activate license. And what you'll see, two things will happen. One, you'll have a menu here on the left side. And two is you will get a notice to install the Geo IP detection plugin. You'll basically need it if you want to detect the person's location if you don't put the actual location in the address bar. So once you've activated it, let's go ahead into our website where we've set everything up already. All right, so we're back on PPC Basic /locksmith, and we'll go back to our menu and we'll go into location insertion. And here's where we begin. So basically, in order to add the user's location, all you have to do is copy this little short code right here. And we'll go to our landing page. We'll edit. So once again, I'm using Elementor, but you can use whatever page editor that you use for WordPress. And once you're inside, you can see the location here, bracket display underscore location, and then the default equals your area. So just for the sake of testing, I'm going to put it next to the visitor date and time. So I'll do dash, and then right here on the left side, I'll paste in the display location. So once that's in there, very simply, pretty much activated. I'll hit publish. We'll go back to our landing page and notice right here, this is where it's going to be displayed. And you can see Hollywood, California. So you can take that short code and you can put it anywhere you want on the website. And basically it will detect the person's location based on certain criterias. Now to explain to you the criterias, here's what I call the URL parameter hierarchy. This is how we determine what location to put in the address bar itself. So number one is we're going to base it off of the Google location. So the Google location that we get from Google Ads. So anytime you run Google Ads, you can append the Google location number, and that Google location number translates into an actual location. And then the Google interest is, let's say they might be located in one location, but they're interested in getting plumbing services for a family member in another city. So we also have Google interest here as well. So after the Google locations, the third one is going to be the actual location parameter. So that's what we append if we do $LOC or $LOC equals, and then whatever location we want. So I'll show you what that looks like once more. So in this case, we have /California/Hollywood, but we can also do $LOC equals Hollywood, California. And basically that also works. Or if you want, you can just do the state. So Hollywood, CA, and all of those work the same. And keep in mind, if you're not very technical, you don't necessarily need the question mark to be the very first thing. You can also put keyword equals plumbing and then ampersand, and then there you go. So this is the dynamic keyword insertion that we'll learn later on, but for the time being, the question mark doesn't necessarily need to be the first thing. We'll go back to our hierarchy. And then finally, if we don't know the person's location, so there's literally nothing appended to the URL at the top here, then we base it on what the person's location is. It's not the most accurate because let's say the internet server is located somewhere else, then therefore their location might be off by a few kilometers to maybe up to 10 kilometers. But for the most part, this is a last resort for getting the person's location if we don't get it from the address bar. So to test that, I made a little URL generator here, and we'll take the root URL of our website and we'll append one of the landing pages, /locksmith. And on the right side here, you'll see Google location being appended. So when we open these up, each number corresponds with a location in Google Ads. All right, there you go. So this particular number corresponds to this location. This number corresponds to Garza County, Texas. This location corresponds with Wademan, Michigan. So now keep in mind that if the Google location does not have specific zip code data attached to it or specific postal code data, then we need to get that postal code data, and that's why we append Google INT or Google interest, and from that one is where we get the zip code data. So in this case, every single one of these has zip code data appended to it, but in those circumstances when the Google location doesn't have zip code data, then we're going to resort to Google interest to get the zip code location. And the last ones is when we simply append LOC equals and whatever address you want in the world, and we'll have a header and map and everything else, and our shortcode will basically show that location. So once more, we have New York here, we have Los Angeles, and we have Chicago. So there you go, New York, Los Angeles, and Chicago. And you can use these in any city you want in the world. So we'll do Germany, and there you go, Berlin, Germany, and we'll scroll down to our map, and once again, Berlin, Germany. And the final thing is if we don't have the person's location, then we simply get it from using geo-IP location detection. And the last feature that I've added is basically debug equals 1. So this allows us to see all of the data that we're potentially able to pass to our call tracking system. So all we have to do is append debug equals 1. So to really show you how it works, we're going to go into one of our Google Ads location IDs here. And each one of these has the Google location and the Google interest. So let's go ahead and append debug equals 1. And from this, we have the Google location and the Google zip code. So basically, this Google location is translated into a zip code, and this zip code we can pass either to our call tracking system or use it for whatever else that we might need. Let's say for e-commerce, let's say for landing page sales, but you can basically pass this zip code and use it for your purposes. And the second one we're going to go to is Wademan, Michigan. So we're going to type in debug equals 1, and you can see all the data here that we're passing, but the most important that we need is the Google zip code. And with this zip code, we pass it to our call tracking buyer, or once again, our final destination, wherever we need or purpose that we need the particular zip code for. So the last part that I want to show you is where the magic happens for all of this zip code and Google location detection for your location insertion. And we go back to our location insertion. We'll go into Google Ads location insertion. And here, when you load it up for the very first time, you're going to see on the right side here that the database records start getting imported. So what this means is that all of these Google location numbers are basically being imported into our WordPress database, and they ultimately get translated into an actual name as well as a zip code. So each one of these numbers corresponds to a name and a zip code ultimately. And the only thing that you really need to do is to make sure that your storage method is set to WordPress database. This helps us look up for these numbers very, very quickly. And that's pretty much it. So basically, we're able to insert the location of the person that's visiting our website from wherever they're coming from. And especially if you're running Google Ads, this is essential because you're able to translate the actual Google Ads location into an actual name as well as a zip code if you need it for passing it to your ultimate destination. So Leonidas here, make sure to get this plugin. There is a 10-day free trial. And as well, if you call this number on the screen, you'll be able to get yourself a nice coupon code. And I will see you in the next video. Cheers.